Thank you very much, Chairman Ray Chua, for your kind introduction. I'd like to thank also Chairman Sorio for his very kind welcome remarks, and also Mr. Rosenberg for your being the host of this event, Cyber City Teleservices President. Of course, our host developer is Mr. Benny Recaport, President of CDC. And our host congressman is Congressman Tarzan Lazatin. And I see our host city mayor, Mayor Blue Boy Nepomuceno, also here with us today. Thank you, Blue Boy. Because Clark is made up of Angeles City and Mabalacat. We have our other host mayor, Mayor Boking Morales, also here with us today. We have other national government officials, our president of the North Rail and chairman of the Subic-Clark Corridor, Secretary Ed Pamintuan, and a number of mayors of Pampanga who are here today, and I'm very glad that they're all here with us. And of course, I greet not only George Sorio and Mr. Rosenberg, but all the officers and leaders of the National ICT Confederation of the Philippines, or NICP, for this very important summit. And I congratulate not only Ray Chua, but the other commissioners and all the other colleagues in the Commission on ICT for your partnership with the private sector. Congratulations also to all of you, all of us, for being selected again by the National Outsourcing Association of the UK as the offshoring destination of the year. Indeed, the Philippines ranks as among the best offshoring hubs in the world because of cost competitiveness, and more importantly, our highly trainable, English proficient, IT-enabled management and manpower. Our having won the Offshoring Destination of the Year award again also highlights the growing importance of the Philippine IT BPO industry in the global market. If in previous administrations, electronics was the big ticket item for our dollar earnings, today we are creating wealth by developing the labor-intensive, skills-intensive service sector like BPO and tourism as the key growth sectors, just as I predicted during my first State of the Nation address in 2009. At that time, 2001, the Philippine ICT industry was virtually nothing. 4,000 workers. Well, there was a small one here, AOL. But we gave ICT a central role in our medium-term Philippine Development Plan. We initiated efforts in 3 areas. First, we built up the telecommunications infrastructure and opened the market for internet phone calls. In 2001, I said that interconnectivity is a must. We supported wider public access to communications and information services, promoting interconnectivity, and also establishing IT internet connections in public high schools, which should serve, hopefully, as internet cafes during off-school hours, and through encouraging the provision of more broadband services in identified growth areas. As a result of our push for telecommunications infrastructure and connectivity, international calls went down from 40 cents to today in VoIP. Ray Chua just told me it's down to 2 cents from 40 cents for IDD. But when I saw that we all had our interconnectivity done and the cost of connectivity had gone down, then the BPO operators gave us a new requirement for infrastructure: redundancy. This demand came after the Taiwan tremor, so that no Taiwan tremor could ever again cut off our cyber services from their global clients. We encourage the telecoms giants, PLDT and Globe, to invest billions in international redundancy. I remember groundbreaking the one of PLDT in La Union. And I remember the ceremonial groundbreaking, which was held in Makati, for the Globe, which enters through Ballesteros in Cagayan. And because that Ballesteros has to have a connection all the way to Manila, any point from Ballesteros, Cagayan, is it Ballesteros? Yeah. All the way up to Manila can now have an internet connection because of that backbone. And just to show how our redundancy in our infrastructure has caused us to be resilient and to have uninterrupted services, I remember a few years ago, was it Typhoon Milenio that hit NCR? And I went to Convergys, and I was talking with the Philippine president of Convergys. I asked her, how did the typhoon affect you? Well, she said, well, my roof in my house was blown off, but the BPO services continued 24/7. No problem with that. Now we had Ondoy again, and I went back to the same company for yet another expansion. And I asked them, so how did the last typhoon affect the services? Nobody. At the first day of Ondoy, when the floods were very high, there were some absences. But the next day, everybody was on the job. And our infrastructure was not affected at all. So that is one of our joint accomplishments. Congratulations to the industry. The second area for our efforts was to ensure an appropriate policy and legal environment. We've been asking Congress to create a Department of ICT, but while we still don't have that, we started with a public-private sector task force on ICT with myself as chairman. Then, I created by executive order a commission on ICT.